Hey there, gentlemen. Ready to level up your game and become the irresistible man you were meant to be? Welcome back to the Masculine Energy Motivation channel, where we're all about empowering you to thrive in every aspect of your life. I'm Cynthia Peralta, your guide on this journey to becoming the ultimate catch. In our previous episode, we talked about, and this is in part one anyways, we talked about several topics, and we're going to cover the remainder of it today. Just to kind of remind you guys and recap, right, we talked about societal ageism towards women in dating, OnlyFans, and the psychology of men's desires. We also talked about men's mental health and pornography's impact, as well as the effects of alcohol on confidence and authenticity, right? How, experiences of quitting alcohol and drugs and expressing admiration and challenges and the benefits of the journey itself. And how alcohol consumption and its impacts on confidence and decision making, actually happen, and how to, it can actually also attribute to confidence in their inability to rely on education and psychology and instead find authenticity in removing alcohol from your life. We also talked about money, relationships, and intimacy, right? How money can attract disloyal women, but connection requires more than just money, right? So more than just wealth. We also observed some famous individuals who often choose to be with someone before they become famous. But unfortunately, this person may also no longer be emotionally or even intellectually stimulated once the person becomes famous. So anyways, next up, we're going to dive deeper into the remaining topics, and those topics are going to be topics like work-life balance and relationships for high-achieving individuals, as well as even gender roles and attraction, the impact of appearance on self-esteem and relationships. And then finally, we're going to conclude with relationships, gender roles, and even parenting. All right, so if you're ready, let's dive in. Okay, so research tells us that being an irresistible man isn't just about flexing your muscles or showing off your bank account, right? It's about connecting on a deeper level. So forget about trying to impress with spreadsheets or even psychology jargon. Instead, I want you to focus on embracing your individuality and your authenticity. So here we're going to be busting myths left and right, starting with those outdated gender norms that hold you back. It's time for us to really truly ditch the playbook and forge your path to fulfilling relationships based on mutual respect, reciprocity, and even support. Trust me, that's what truly sets you apart. And let's not forget about the icing on the cake. What both men and women find truly attractive beyond the surface. Hint, hint, it's not about looks. We're talking about confidence, empathy, and genuine connection. So, gentlemen, I hope you're ready to become that irresistible man of your dreams. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because this journey is just getting started and you won't want to miss a single step moving forward. Let's dive in and make it happen. First, we're going to start off with a truth bomb. It's not about how masculine or whatever you think is, going to lead you towards being that irresistible man. It's possible that you may know some of it, but I'm going to tell you what it's about. It's all about how you make your partner feel. As a boss babe myself, I know the importance of balancing that power with affection. Being a leader doesn't mean neglecting your man. It means kissing him, hugging him, and making him feel loved no matter what, right? Now, let's talk about what truly turns women on. Intellectual stimulation. Forget about spreadsheets and that financial status and bragging, right? It's all about connecting on an intellectual level. When you come home from a busy day of whether it's deep conversations at work and bonding with the boys over, some vehicles that you worked on or whatever it may be, your partner wants to be able to engage with you on a sort of deep conversation level, right? Share your thoughts, your insights, and even your experiences. That's what creates a real connection. But here's the catch. You've got to find that balance between work and play. Okay, sure, even if you're a CEO crushing it with spreadsheets all day, that doesn't mean your relationship should revolve around work talk. Find common interests outside of the office and explore them together. Whether it's trying out a new hobby or planning a spontaneous adventure, keep the excitement alive. All right? Now let's talk about attraction. What do women really find irresistible? It's not just about looks. It's like I said earlier, right? It's about confidence. It's about boundaries. It's also about authenticity. Women are drawn to men who know what they want and aren't afraid to go after it. Set boundaries, stick to your values, and watch as women are magnetically drawn to your masculine energy. But here's the thing about multiple girlfriends and open relationships. It's a recipe for disaster if you didn't already know this. Women want loyalty, they want trust, and they want that emotional connection. If you're spreading yourself thin with multiple partners, you're not giving any of them the attention and respect that they deserve. It's a surefire way to breed resentment and destroy any chance of a meaningful connection. And let's not forget about the pressure women face to choose between family and career as well. It's a tough balancing act, but it's important for men to step up and support their partners in whatever path they choose. All right? So, be a true partner, not just in words, but in actions, and watch as your relationship flourishes. In the end, being an irresistible man isn't about playing games or following outdated dating advice. It's about being genuine, respectful, and emotionally available. All right? Now, let's talk about what turns us off. All right? The boss attitude. Yeah, you heard me right. It's not about being a boss or rejecting your partner. It's about how you make them feel. Sure, I'm a boss in my own right, but that doesn't mean that I need to neglect my man. I'm all about kissing, hugging, and making him feel loved because let's face it, if I'm a boss babe who's always MIA, that's a major buzzkill, right? So, you want to know what's truly attractive is finding someone who matches your intellectual level. I'm not talking about finances here, I'm talking about having deep, meaningful conversations. Picture this for a moment, right? You're out there podcasting, talking to brilliant minds, and then you come home to someone who just doesn't get it. It's frustrating. You end up brushing off your day with the simple, work was fine, but internally, you're craving that connection. So how do you strike that balance between work and play? Well, it's about finding that mutual set of interests, whatever that is. If you're stuck in spreadsheets all day, bro, I get it. It's busy, right? But there's more to life than that. Talk about what excites both of you, whether it's a shared hobby, a passion project, like I said earlier, right? Or even just venting about your day, right? Try to keep it positive as much as you can, but I mean, come on, tell me more about you. Let me in, let your guard down, right? Trust me, that's where the real excitement in a relationship lies, especially for us women, okay? Now, let's talk about attractiveness real quick. Your perspective on this is bound to be unique, especially compared to the red pill community. Now, I don't even know what that meant at first, to be honest with you. So I thought it was some sort of anti-matrix thing, but turns out it's all about these different color pills, red, black, blue, you name it. I don't even know anymore, right? But here's the deal. I've got some reservations about it. See, it's often men who haven't quite cracked the code on healthy relationships that are actually out there giving advice to other men. Now, I'm not saying you need to be married with kids to have a say, right? But it's usually guys who've faced a lot of rejection and negativity that end up in these communities. They're angry, blaming women for everything that went wrong. But let's get real for a moment. It's not about blaming women or playing the victim. It's about accountability. If you choose wisely and stick to your boundaries, you won't have issues with women. But when you let them walk all over you or accept behavior that's just not acceptable, well, you're asking for trouble, buddy, to be honest with you. All right? I know me personally, I just can't relate to those who complain about women mistreating them because I simply don't tolerate it, right? If someone disrespects me, they're out. Simple as that. And guess what? The same goes for men. If you're out there complaining about women or bad-mouthing your ex, take a good look in the mirror, buddy. All right? You allow that behavior in your life, so own up to it. It's time to take responsibility for your choices and stop blaming the opposite sex for our own shortcomings. This goes for the ladies as well, all right? Let's ditch the color pills and focus on building healthy, respectful relationships because that's what it's all about. All right. So, what do women find truly attractive in men? If I had to sum it up in one word, it would be masculinity. That's why you're here, folks, right? Now, I know I keep harping on it, right? But hear me out. Women find boundaries incredibly attractive, even if they pretend otherwise, right? Sure, they'll say, you can't tell me what to do, I'm my own woman. But deep down, there's something alluring about a man who can't tell me what to do, right? And isn't a pushover at the same time. So when you're with a people pleaser, the chemistry just isn't the same because he's always agreeing with you, mirroring your likes and dislikes. But when he stands his ground, it's magnetic. It's like you can trust him to lead, to make decisions, and when my partner, for example, isn't constantly trying to please me, I can rely on him to give it to me straight. And that's sexy. We want honesty, right? I mean, if it's a little bit of a brutal honesty, sugarcoat it a little bit for us, right? Please. Okay, I'm asking you nicely. All right. So now, from a guy's perspective, what do you think men find attractive in women, right? I would love to hear from you in the comments, to be honest with you. I would love your feedback. So please, if you haven't already, please post your response to that question in the comments, okay? So, well, but here's my perspective. I think that deep down, it's all about nurturing. No matter how tough or independent a guy may seem, when a woman anticipates his needs and takes care of him without being asked, it's like magic. Whether it's having a meal ready when he's hungry, a coffee waiting when he's tired, or laying out his clothes when he's in a rush, it makes him feel loved, appreciated. And the funny thing is, guys might not even realize it because they're not used to expecting that kind of nurturing anymore. It's sad. But when they receive it, they melt like butter. I've seen it. I've experienced it. The looks on their faces are just heartwarming. It almost wants to actually make me want to cry right now, right? But it's like they've just been handed a precious gift. It's amazing. All right? So, I know I keep talking about looks, but let's not forget about looks. Sure, they matter to some extent, but honestly, there's someone for everyone out there. Whether you're tall, short, skinny, or not, there's a market for everyone. And while some people might have it easier in the looks department, the truth is, there's someone out there who will find you attractive, okay? Now, when it comes to attractiveness beyond the physical, it's true that things have gotten a bit out of hand lately, right? With steroids, plastic surgery. I mean, everybody's got lip fillers and Botox and, BBLs and all this other stuff going on, right? So people are going to extreme measures to find something, whether it's some sort of bond connection with other people, to find more attractiveness, competition, because they're essentially comparing themselves to Instagram models. Both men and women are doing this, right? And while some people might have it easier in the looks department, the truth is, you have to find yourself to be attractive. You will find someone who finds you attractive, okay? So, but real attractiveness goes beyond just appearances. It's about that confidence, personality, and how you make someone feel. And that, my friend, is timeless, all right? Because guess what? As the older you get, the more wrinkles you get, and everything starts to go south, right? You know what I'm talking about. All right, so have you ever noticed how relationships nowadays seem to be more like short-term gigs rather than long-lasting commitments? It's like slapping a Band-Aid on a broken leg and pretending everything's fine. But deep down, we all know that there's something that needs fixing here. It's bad, okay? It's not looking pretty out there. See, what's happening in people is that they are essentially masking their insecurities with this polished exterior, right? Putting lipstick on a pig. But let me tell you, it takes a pretty insecure person to invest so much into their appearance, to be honest with you. And guess what? Insecurity doesn't attract other insecure folks. It's like this animal instinct in us, right? Honing in on vulnerabilities and causing a disconnect. All right? So, that's why we are so hung up on short-term flings. Looks might reel someone in initially, but it's a short-term strategy. We're emphasizing all the wrong things, and it's a sad truth we can no longer ignore. Think about it. Back in the day, like the 70s or 60s, people were getting plastic surgery, right? But now it's insane. It's like everyone's chasing this unrealistic standard of beauty. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But you're a personal coach, Cynthia. Why do you care about, looks? And, why do you keep bringing this up? Well, let me tell you, looks do matter. It's not about being, conventionally attractive, but it's about taking care of yourself, your body, your style. Be unique, be yourself, be authentic, right? It's all part of the package. And here's the kicker. It's also a signal of your own self-esteem, right? I mean, come on, I've been there, man. When I'm feeling low, I'll throw on some dark clothes and try to blend into the background. I'll put my hoodie on, right? I have these massive sweaters that, my friends and my family and everybody, they're like, why do you get these such large sweaters, right? But the point is I'm trying to hide sometimes because I'm not feeling myself. I'm not feeling, up and at 'em, right? But when I'm on top of my game, oh, you better believe it. I'm putting effort into how I look. It's like broadcasting to the world. I respect myself. And guess what? You should too. All right? That doesn't mean you have to look polished every single freaking moment of every day. But come on, put some effort into it. Even if it's just starting out. Maybe you're originally in the 50% category of like, hey, I'm going to go all out. And I'm going to, dress to the nine. Maybe you don't have to go all out. Maybe you can, step it up to maybe 70%. Maybe step it up to 80%. It doesn't have to be 100% all the time. All right. Now, I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. If I've got a client coming to me struggling with confidence and they're not taking care of their body, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. To be honest, I'm going to be so brutal. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to fix your body first, man. Because until you respect yourself enough to treat your body right, it's going to be an uphill battle. I know it's not easy to hear. I get it, okay? But I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to sugarcoat things for you. Balancing your training, your nutrition, and your work life, it's a whole ordeal. But let me tell you, the most successful guys I know, they've got their routines down pat. They prioritize their health because it's a sign of self-respect. And ladies, this also, if you're in the audience, this also goes for you too. The whole body shaming culture, it's toxic. I get it. But at the end of the day, if you're unhappy with yourself, you got to take action. Hit the gym, make those changes, because until you respect your own body, it's going to be hard for anyone else to. Look, I'm not some fitness junkie who lives for the gym. I am not. I love my food. And I'll be honest, I don't always enjoy working out. But I do it because I know if I don't, I'll pay the price mentally. It's mind, body, and soul. I can't neglect one without screwing up the others. That's just how it works. So yeah, it's tough. But I've been in this game for years, and I've seen the difference it makes. It's not about being a personal trainer or fitness guru. Trust me. It's about respecting yourself enough to take care of what matters most. And trust me, it's worth it in the long run. All right. Now, let's talk about something that's been floating around lately, this idea of having multiple girlfriends at once. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's break it down from both a practical and a psychological perspective, especially from the viewpoint of the women involved, okay? Now, picture the scenario. You've got a guy who's financially stable, emotionally invested in his kids, and plays a significant role in their lives. Sounds like a handful already, right? Now, here's the kicker. When it comes to cheating, women are pretty straightforward. Those who accept infidelity are usually the ones who are also okay with straying themselves. You heard that right. It's basic math. Cheating men attract cheating women, period. But what about the loyal ones? The ones who can't fathom being unfaithful? Well, here's the harsh reality. The loyal ones, the ones who truly love you, they can't stomach the idea of sharing you with someone else. They'll try to make it work, but deep down, it's tearing them apart. On the flip side, the ones who stick around for the financial perks, they're playing a whole different game, buddy. Yeah, they might play nice on the surface, but behind your back, they're plotting their own moves. Trust me, I've seen it firsthand. I truly have. Okay? Now, maybe you think this only happens in big cities, but let me tell you, it's a universal truth. It takes a specific kind of woman to accept that kind of arrangement, and more often than not, she's not the loyal type. She's the one who's keeping quiet, biding her time, all while using your wallet as leverage. And here's where it gets real messy. In my experience, when both partners are living this double life, it's the kids who suffer the most. Mom's checked out, dad's preoccupied, and the family unit falls apart. Kids need stability. They need to know that mom's there for them and dad's got their back. But in this scenario, it's chaos. So fellas, if you're thinking about diving into this lifestyle, you know what you're signing up for. It's not just about juggling multiple relationships, it's about the ripple effect it has on everyone involved, especially the ones you care about the most. All right? So, another topic is, whether or not women these days actually feel more pressure to choose between their career and starting a family. Personally, I think there's definitely pressure, but it's not always in the direction you might expect. See, women today are often being pushed towards focusing on their careers, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but here's where it gets tricky. When a woman is educated and driven, her potential truly expands beyond just being a homemaker. Now, don't get me wrong, being a stay-at-home mom is incredible, all right? It really is. My mom, even my own mom rocked it for a while, okay? But when a woman has tasted success in her career, it's hard for her to transition into the role of full-time caregiver without feeling a bit lost. Imagine going from stimulating intellectual conversations at work, right? And spending all day with a toddler who can't even hold a proper conversation yet, right? It's a huge shift, and it's tough for women to feel fulfilled in that sort of role. Plus, there's the added pressure of losing their sense of style and identity outside of work. Do I value the women that are able to do this? Absolutely, and not only that, I admire them. I respect them wholeheartedly, and actually, quite frankly, I wish I would have been able to do that. But like I said earlier, I'm kind of a boss babe. I've been used to this lifestyle because I had to be in this lifestyle. I had to provide for myself. I didn't want to have to rely on anybody, especially my husband. Okay? All right. So now, and let's talk about the dynamic between partners as it relates to this, right? So when you've got the person feeling trapped at home while the other gets to enjoy leisure activities, it can breed that sort of resentment pretty quickly. It's all about finding that balance and supporting each other's needs. It's understanding how each of you can fulfill your desires. Having those deep conversations. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong, having more opportunities and choices is a great thing. But sometimes too many options can actually make us feel even more anxious and less satisfied. Think about it. When you have endless choices, it's harder to appreciate what you already have. So yeah, it's a complex issue with no easy answers, but I think the key is to recognize the challenges women face and support them in finding a balance that works for them and their families, right? All right, now we're going to dive into a topic that's been on my mind lately, right? And it's, what do you think the role of a man should be in a relationship? Now, I know it might sound cliche, but hear me out. Leadership truly is key. See, when a man steps up and takes the lead in the relationship, it's not just about being traditional, it's about lightening the load for his partner. Women are already carrying so much. Physically, they have to look a certain way. Emotionally, they have to behave a certain way. They have to, exhibit certain behaviors, you name it, right? I mean, think about it. Childbirth alone changes everything for a woman. And that's just the beginning. Do you want me to give you some examples, right? I mean, anything from her temperament to her physical, toll that it takes on her body, right? To how she feels even after childbirth. So when a woman feels like she's not only managing the household, but also babysitting her partner because he can't make decisions or take responsibility, it's a recipe for disaster. She starts to lose respect, and things go downhill pretty fast. And when she loses that respect, she also loses her admiration and love rather quickly. Okay? Now let's talk about kids. Do you think everyone should have children? Well, honestly, it's not for everyone. If you're not nurturing, if there's a trauma or negativity in your relationship, bringing a child into that environment wouldn't be fair to anyone involved. Sure, kids are amazing. I have them myself, right? They can bring so much joy, but they also need stability and love. If you can't provide that for them, then no, I don't think you should have children, all right? When you see someone just getting themselves pregnant through a sperm bank, for example, it can raise some serious questions about the child's sense of identity and belonging. Think about it. Their sense of identity and belonging is impacted tremendously. Anyways, all right, so we're gonna cut it off here. There you have it. I'm gonna wrap it up, and this concludes the second half, anyways, of How to Become an Irresistible Man series, right? So, stick around because there's gonna be more later on, right? So make sure to subscribe. Thanks for joining us for the second part of the series for the Masculine Energy Motivation channel. We're all about helping you thrive in every aspect of your life. Once again, I'm Cynthia Peralta, your host. And boy, do we have some more eye-opening insights to share with you later. All right. Now, to recap, we delved into the challenges of maintaining a healthy balance in relationships dominated by work-related discussions, while also exploring the dynamics of mutual interest and engagement. We're busting myths left and right, debunking those stereotypes, and we're uncovering what truly fosters intimacy and connection in relationships. From respecting each other's passions to embracing authenticity, we're diving deep into what makes relationships truly fulfilling. All right. But hey, we're not here just to talk. We want you to be part of the conversation too. So hit that subscribe button, share this video with your friends and family, and let's keep the momentum going. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on these juicy topics that we're going to be covering. We have a lot in store for you that'll help you be your best self. Catch you in the next one. Take care, fellas. Bye.